I'm talking about Matt Riddle. I'm talking about you, bro. I told you, you may have hurt me, but I'm not gonna stop until you're stopped.
Matt Riddle, who did an interview and said, I smoke marijuana so I don't beat my wife and children.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Nobody likes you, Riddle. Nobody likes you. Nobody can stand the way you talk. They can't stand looking at your stupid face.
The thing between you and Riddle got pretty nasty. Said his wife and kids left him.
Yeah, they did. Well, his wife did, yeah.
I started to get sad and depressed because I was lying to my wife so much to hide what I was doing. I was lying to all my friends because I didn't want anybody to know.
Talk about my family, man. Let's talk about your family. Oh, wait, you ain't got one because your wife divorced you and took your kids and they don't want to see you anymore, huh?
What did you just say?
Yeah, you heard me.
Dude, you don't get, I'm not gonna beat you up. I'm gonna you up, bro. Where the are you? Where are you?
Matt Riddle's journey in the world of mixed martial arts is quite a story. Starting out as a successful MMA fighter, Riddle gained recognition through the Ultimate Fighter 7 and achieved a notable 4-fight winning streak in the Ultimate Fighting Championship from 2008 to 2014. However, his UFC tenure ended abruptly when he was fired after testing positive for marijuana. He made the switch to professional wrestling seem effortless. Within just 2 years, he rose to become one of the best in the business. Fans couldn't get enough of him during the time. Controversies and allegations, backstage issues, in-ring performance, public image, and ultimately the combination of these factors contributed to an unfortunate end to Matt Riddle's fight career, despite his initial success and potential. In this video, we'll explore the highs and lows of Matt Riddle's career, from his rapid rise to his unexpected setbacks.
You have been conned into loving a man who uses your love to then take advantage of you, to then manipulate you, to sexually abuse you. And he has the support of people who idolize him. But why would you idolize the devil?
Surprise, surprise! The king is back!
Growing up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, Riddle moved to Saratoga Springs in New York, where he attended high school. Here, he achieved remarkable success, becoming a New York State Wrestling Champion in 2004. Interestingly, Riddle faced off against John Jones, a future UFC champion, in high school wrestling matches and emerged victorious twice. After high school, Riddle pursued a higher education at East Stroudsburg University on an athletic scholarship, continuing his wrestling career and earning multiple championships. However, when his wrestling coach was dismissed, Riddle lost his scholarship. Riddle then shifted gears towards mixed martial arts. During this transition, he balanced work as a roofer during the day with intense Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training in the evenings. Riddle attributes much of his early MMA education to BJ Penn's book, Mixed Martial Arts: The Book of Knowledge. Riddle's path to recognition escalated when he fought Dan Simler, a protege of Matt Serra, for a spot on the Ultimate Fighter show.
This is like the Olympics for fighting, you know? So me being in the octagon, it's just gonna get me more pumped up, more excited. And I'm gonna have such a big smile on my face.
In a dramatic turn, Riddle knocked out Simler within seconds of the second round, an intense victory that left Simler with a broken jaw.
Okay.
Relax, Dan. Dan, you doing good? You doing good? You doing all right?
Never seen somebody moan on the ground like that. I felt really bad because that was like one of the gruesomest knockouts I ever seen.
This marked the beginning of Riddle's tough journey, where he was selected early by Team Rampage and earned the nickname Chipper for his ever-present smile.
Southpaw red.
Matt got knockout of the century.
What do you do, Chipper? You professional smiler, huh?
I live at home with my mom. I don't have a driver's license or a job. Be thinking good thoughts, nothing negative. I don't get angry, I don't get emotional. Those things are just gonna get in my way. I just go out there with a smile and I enjoy myself because I'm doing something I love.
Despite a setback in the competition against Tim Kruder, Riddle was knocked out of the tournament.
My coaches, they weren't mad, they were disappointed. And that's worse than being mad in my book.
However, Kruder's victory didn't diminish Riddle's spirit, as Kruder even showed sportsmanship by buying Riddle an Xbox 360 with his fight earnings.
Get an Xbox, I'll buy it for you. Are you serious?
Okay. Like Tim's buying me an Xbox 360, I'm pretty stoked. I kind of feel like I won.
Yo, by then the
UFC game's gonna be out. It's gonna be tight. I wouldn't go as far as saying mama's boy, but my mom takes care of me. She drives me around. I love my mom. If I could, I'd be a kid my whole life, but I can't. I gotta grow up one day.
Following his stint on The Ultimate Fighter 7, Matt Riddle didn't let setbacks deter him. His determination shone through as he embarked on his UFC career, winning against 3 consecutive opponents by unanimous decision. On June 21st, 2008 at The Ultimate Fighter 7 finale, Riddle made his UFC and professional debut in impressive fashion, defeating Dante Rivera, a fellow castmate from the show.
You're a child. I've said on camera, if you ever beat me, I'd retire.
We fight. Better get your shoes bronzed. I will retire if you beat me. That's bold. I think Dante, you know, he's a little overconfident. I just like it when he tells me he would run through me and tap me out or knock me out in 30 seconds. And it's like, I don't think so, old man.
Judges scored the fight unanimously in Riddle's favor. Rivera was a more seasoned fighter and in fact older than Riddle at the time. Rivera even went as far as stating that he would retire if Riddle managed to defeat him, a bold commitment that despite Riddle's victory, Rivera ultimately didn't follow through with it.
I love you, Mom! Woo! Matt Riddle, ladies and gentlemen!
Yeah, he certainly is chipper, and he's a victor here tonight.
This victory not only solidified Riddle's place in the UFC, but also showcased his potential as a rising star in the sport. Following a brief setback due to a knee injury that forced him out of a scheduled fight against Ryan Thomas at UFC 91, Matt Riddle focused on recovery, and once back in action, Riddle displayed his resilience and skill in the octagon. At UFC Fight Night Lozon vs Stevens, he faced Steve Bruno and emerged victorious with all judges scoring the fight 29-28 in Riddle's favor. He then squared off against Dan Kramer at UFC 101, securing another unanimous decision victory. After a few more fights, he improved his UFC record to an impressive 5-1. Riddle's victory over Johnson was particularly notable, as it came via TKO due to punches near the end of the second round. Despite showing significant improvement in his striking abilities, Riddle remained predominantly a wrestler, utilizing his skills to take his opponents down and work for ground and pound finishes or decision victories. After a few more fights, he secured a submission of the night honor against Chris Clements, but unfortunately, Riddle's positive drug test for marijuana after the fight with Clements led to a 90-day suspension, and the fight result being overturned to a no contest. Riddle's career in the UFC was marked by a mix of impressive victories and challenges. After serving his suspension, Matt Riddle returned to the UFC with determination, securing back-to-back decision victories over John Maguire and Che Mills. However, Riddle faced another setback when he tested positive for marijuana once again after the fight against Mills. This marked his second failed drug test within a year, resulting in his release from the UFC and the change of his fight against Mills to a no contest.
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Mr. White, you know. I don't think he has good business ethics. He is an asshole. He was really cold-blooded towards me. If you knew one of your employees had their 3rd child and was still doing good work but failed a drug test again, maybe he needs help, you know, maybe we can go another route with this, right? I don't think he does things properly. I don't think he treats people properly. I just don't think he's a good person.
Now, the reason he's not in the UFC anymore is because he could not pass a drug test. And think about this. You have to go to work 3 times a year and you couldn't pass a drug test? You're so weak-minded and so addicted to marijuana that you couldn't stay off it enough to pass a drug test 3 times a year. Well, guess what, dummy? They drug test in the real world too. And I want to know where this rocket scientist is going to go and make $100-something thousand a year. And also, this is the guy, Matt Riddle, who did an interview and said, I smoke marijuana so I don't beat my wife and children.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Got interviewed on a radio show and my kids are banging on my door and, you know, and my wife was supposed to be watching them and then people are like, what's that noise? I go, oh, my kids are banging on the door. I go, this is why I smoke pot so I don't beat my wife and kids. Completely sarcastic. The whole podcast laughed about it. Next day, New York Times writes, UFC fighter smokes weed so he doesn't beat wife and kid. Oh my God.
Despite these challenges, Riddle's UFC career left a significant mark. He achieved impressive rankings, standing 3rd in UFC history for takedown defense, and 8th for total number of strikes landed, with a score of 1,350. Without the positive marijuana tests, Riddle would have held an octagon record of 10-3, with a streak of 5 consecutive victories, highlighting his potential and talent as a fighter.
You have like a Lesnar who pops for steroids, or a Silva or whatever. All these people who pop for steroids, and then It's like, you smoke weed, you piece of shit. It's like, really? Of everything?
The controversy going on was, at the time, medical marijuana was banned as a PED, performance enhancing drug.
Which makes no sense.
It makes you faster, stronger, whatever. I can see things you can't see.
You leaving UFC felt like, from the outside looking in, feels really stupid.
And like even when I was with the UFC and I got fired for failing a drug test, marijuana 2 times, and I had a medical license and everything. Now you fast forward, it's off the banned substance list. Back then TRT was allowed. Then I go, hey, you're allowing fighters to use steroids and painkillers prescribed by doctors, but you're not allowing like me to use medical marijuana because it's a performance enhancing drug and I'm super dangerous. Dana White put me on blast and called me a loser and this, that. Go make 6 figures somewhere else smoking weed. I'm doing that easily and I've been doing it for like a decade now.
After his departure from the UFC, Matt Riddle signed a multi-fight contract with Legacy Fighting Championships. However, before competing for Legacy, Riddle's contract was acquired by Bellator MMA in 2013. Initially slated to participate in Bellator's welterweight tournament during the 9th season, Riddle's plans were derailed when he suffered a cracked rib, forcing him to withdraw from the tournament. Following this setback and citing financial concerns, Riddle announced his retirement from MMA. However, just a few weeks later, Riddle reversed his decision and planned to make a comeback at Bellator 109. Unfortunately, he withdrew from this fight as well, leading to his release from Bellator and ultimately marking the end of his MMA career.
Shit fell through with other promotions that either didn't have the money or fights kept falling through. I was watching fucking WrestleMania and I was like, fuck MMA, I gotta give this a shot, you know? It was just fucking horrible. It was like every time I was trying to be nice, I'd just get kicked in the face.
And then he started his transition into professional wrestling. Matt Riddle quickly made waves in the independent scene. He made his debut on February 2015 at the Monster Factory in New Jersey and promptly won the Monster Factory Heavyweight Championship. His timing was perfect, coinciding with a surge in popularity for independent wrestling promotions. Riddle competed in major promotions like PWG, CZW, and Evolve, showcasing his skills and gaining significant attention. There was even interest from New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he was considered to team up with Jeff Cobb. However, due to Japan's strict policies regarding marijuana use, which Riddle had previously been associated with, this opportunity did not materialize. Riddle's name began circulating in the internet wrestling community, with speculation of whether WWE NXT would recruit him, despite his past controversies with UFC and Dana White. Ultimately, Riddle joined NXT and had a remarkable 2-year stint. He made a splash with one of the quickest wins in NXT history, defeating Cassius Ohno, now known as Chris Hero, in just 6 seconds.
I have a theory that Matt Riddle, the pro wrestler, was born in Calgary at UFC 149. I feel like that press conference, that's when the entertainer came out in you.
I think that's definitely where, like, I had some confidence going into that one.
Oh, yeah.
But too much confidence, because then I got fired a couple fights later.
Yeah.
I heard Riddle hates English people.
I will be completely honest. When I fought in Manchester, England, they were very cruel to me. One fan actually spit directly in my face, and he was lucky enough where it hit my mouth. And I had to go.
I was kidding.
Yeah. And to be completely honest, you know, I don't have anything against English people. If something happens, I'll go over to London, whatever, and I'll put them down, you know. The bottom line is, everybody up here on this table is a world-class athlete, and we should be treated as a world-class athlete. And for some butter-toothed Brit to spit in my mouth, that was some bull. And honestly, it's never been the same.
Wow. We are definitely making the Dan Hardy fight.
Riddle also participated in the unique NXT vs. Raw vs. SmackDown Survivor Series in 2019, where he notably eliminated his future tag team partner Randy Orton. As Riddle's popularity grew, he transitioned to the main roster, initially appearing on SmackDown before moving to Raw in 2021. By the start of 2021, Riddle was firmly in the United States Championship title picture, cementing his place as a rising star in WWE. His first WrestleMania appearance came just 11 months after his main roster debut, where he faced Sheamus. Although he didn't win, this match signaled bigger things to come, particularly his alliance with Randy Orton. After a successful partnership with Randy Orton as RK Bro in WWE, he would retain the Raw Tag Team titles at WrestleMania 38. It was a career-defining moment, but at the same time, he was going through a divorce. Matt Riddle faced personal and professional setbacks behind the scenes. Riddle encountered challenges, including a tumultuous divorce that played out on social media, adding strain to his personal life.
I have never in my entire life sexually assaulted anybody. And that includes Samantha Tavell, Candy Cartwright. I never sexually assaulted you. We had an affair. You have plenty of evidence of that. And you know what? I never denied it because it happened. The story about that band trip and the driver being asleep and me forcing you to do stuff and hop on whatever is a complete lie. It's a fabricated story because you're still mad. It's embarrassing because I feel like a real piece of crap cheating on my wife and doing that and now having to talk about it publicly. I started to get sad and depressed because I was lying to my wife so much to hide what I was doing. I was lying to all my friends because I didn't want anybody to know. I tried to end it. I told my wife about you and us. I blocked your social media. I got a new number. You got my new number and kept messaging me. At this point, you have to realize if you don't think you're stalking me or harassing me, you're crazy. And if you are at home and you don't think that's harassment, you're crazy. I never sexually abused anybody. I never sexually assaulted anybody. And when I wanted to get out of this relationship, out of this situation, she said no. And she kept pursuing me and harassing me and stalking me. She used the Speak Out movement to try to ruin my career. Completely unacceptable.
Matt Riddle faced intense scrutiny and personal attacks from fellow wrestler Seth Rollins, who openly addressed Riddle's personal struggles on television.
Nobody likes you, Riddle. Nobody likes you. Nobody can stand the way you talk. They can't stand looking at your stupid face. Talk about my family, man. Let's talk about your family. Oh, wait, you ain't got one because your wife divorced you and took your kids and they don't want to see you anymore, huh?
What did you just say?
Yeah, you heard me.
Where are you? Where are you?
I'm here. Come find me.
Dude, you don't get. I'm not gonna beat you up. I'm gonna you up, bro. Where the are you? Where are you?
It was also around this time that Riddle couldn't help but admit that his personal life was taking a toll on him, and it was a high-profile divorce.
I came home and she's like, I want a divorce, this, that. I want you out of the house. And literally I got my stuff, said sorry to the kids. And a week later, my kids hit me up and were like, why is Zach's Pee Wee football coach living here? And it was my son's coach Rob. Nice guy though, nice guy. He lives there, my ex-wife and him are together now.
Do you have regrets?
No.
Additionally, Riddle faced public scrutiny due to legal accusations from a former partner, which complicated his life and career, amplified by social media attention.
I'm talking about Matt Riddle. I'm talking about you, bro. You. I told you. You may have hurt me, but I'm not gonna stop until you're stopped. You would think someone would learn not to hurt women or abuse women. Jordan Max found out the hard way. Ivy Malibu found out the hard way. I found out the hard way. You have been conned into loving a man who uses your love to then take advantage of you, to then manipulate you, to sexually abuse you, to torment you. And he has the support of people who idolize him. But why would you idolize the devil?
In addition to personal struggles, Riddle encountered issues with drug testing, leading to failed tests and a subsequent stint in rehab following an on-screen assault. Despite these challenges, Riddle maintained a wrestling career that included feuds with top contenders like Gunther and transitional storylines with Drew McIntyre. Unfortunately, Riddle's issues escalated with a highly publicized incident at an airport, including accusations of sexual assault and questionable behavior captured on video.
Yes, it is. I know how to fly, dude. All right. Rob Bridger, you know how to fly. Fucking fly.
You mentioned shenanigans. Are you referring to the incident at JFK?
We had a tour in India. It was just a one-day tour. We flew to India and then flew back from India, went to the venue, did the show, then flew back to the States. And on the way back, I had a really bad ear infection. And then, of course, you had a couple cocktails on top of that. And then, you know, grab the mic, you know, I'm talking some crap, you know, flights were delayed. But it was just a perfect storm, you know?
You tweeted about an incident with a TSA officer.
I'm not gonna go too much into detail with that incident.
Is that the same trip?
That was the same trip, same incident. And I'll say I talked to Internal Affairs, I talked to the FBI. I'm not in trouble, I can assure you that. And I didn't want to press charges.
Ultimately, Riddle's journey in WWE came to an end in September 2023 when he announced his departure from the company.
Riddle has been suspended by WWE because of a wellness violation, which means that Riddle took some type of illegal substance, a drug or whatever. This was not the first time.
You mentioned rehab. It happened in late 2022, going to 2023, and I think people thought you'd be gone for 30 days. But then it came out that it was your second offense, right? And so your suspension was longer, correct? The original offense, was it not public?
No, they didn't make any of the offenses public. I think they just wanted to keep it on the hush-hush, which I completely understand,
sure.
you know?
Then, can I ask what it was for?
Well, you're allowed to smoke weed. I went to the strip club and did some cocaine a couple times, and I failed a drug test for that.
That was the first one?
That was the first one. That was for all of them. It was cocaine each time. Went out and partied a little bit, and they gave me a random test at my house, and I failed that. And shortly after that, they had me go to rehab.
Leaving behind a legacy marked by both triumphs and challenges.
I think at the end of the day, it was a complete business move. I failed a couple drug tests, got fired from the UFC. Other people have failed drug tests in the UFC, and they still have jobs, right? So I think, for the most part, it was a money thing. I think maybe my value went down, and for the amount they were still paying me or guaranteed to pay me, I honestly think that played a bigger factor in anything.
Since departing from WWE, Matt Riddle has continued to make waves in the world of professional wrestling. He has competed in Major League Wrestling and notably in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he currently holds the NJPW World Television Championship.
This is, I do believe, the New Japan TV title that you just won, right? Look at that.
Right there. Is that the one? Yeah, dude.
And what's that one?
This is the Combat One World Championship. Wow. Won that the other day as well. So I've just been stacking titles. You know, I figured I'd just bring the collection. Didn't bring all the other titles I've won in the past. You know, that'd be too much carry on. But this one I could squeeze on my back.
Reflecting on his WWE release, Riddle shared that he had a sense it was coming, especially when there were no plans for him at WrestleMania 39.
After, you know, I went to rehab and stuff like that, and I got out, I didn't even think they were gonna bring me back. It was Mania season. I wasn't on Mania, and a lot of times they do the budget cuts right after there, so I was like, think it's already chopping block time, and that didn't happen. Then plus my shenanigans, you know, just acting a fool half the time didn't help things, and yeah.
Despite this, Riddle views his departure as happening at the right time, signaling a new chapter in his wrestling career. And there you have it, the rise and fall of Matt Riddle. If you enjoyed this video, smash up the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see any other MMA documentaries like this one, drop the name in the comments below. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.